Hi everyone, it's Caroline. I wanted to come back and make a second video for you guys because I got a lot of questions on my first video in the comment section, and also people reaching out to me on Instagram or via email. So I really appreciate that you guys took the time to watch my video and that you sent me your questions. The purpose of this video is to give you some more information now that I have been in my job for over a year, and kind of tell you my thoughts on how I feel about it now that I've been doing it for a little bit, and also answer some of the questions that came from the first video. So if you haven't seen the first video, the link is going to be down below in the description box. That one goes into detail about how I actually went from working as a bedside nurse into the informatics field. It includes information about school, about salary, hours, and what I was doing on a daily basis, and also some practical advice on how to get from the bedside into an informatics position. So for this video, I want to go through some of the questions that were asked as a result of the first video, and I have written a few of them down to go through. The first overarching question that I got a bunch of times was, do you need to get a master's degree? And so from my personal experience, I did not have a master's degree when I left the bedside and got a job in informatics. However, I am now pursuing a master's degree in health informatics, hopefully so that I can learn more about it and also be eligible for more job opportunities or higher positions down the line. I definitely did not get a lot of nursing education during my undergrad that pertained to informatics. I did take a nursing informatics class as part of my bachelor's in nursing, and I do think that that was helpful. However, it just very much scratches the surface of the informatics world, and so I'm pursuing a master's degree so that I can learn about informatics in much more depth and have a broader perspective. That being said, I did get an informatics job without even having applied to a master's degree program. I did not have any informatics schooling other than that class that I was talking about in my bachelor's of nursing degree program. The second question that I get a lot is, can you explain the difference between a Master's of Science in Nursing Informatics versus a Master of Science in Health Informatics? And I'm no expert, but I can tell you what I figured out from looking into those degree programs myself. When I was applying to graduate school, I had to decide, do I want to do a Master's of Science in Nursing, or do I want to do a Master's of Science in Health Informatics? The best way that I can explain it is, do you want to become an advanced practice nurse? Like, do you want to continue along your nursing career pathway, but divert from the bedside nursing and still be very close to nursing, but with a master's degree in informatics, so that you can assist nurses and inpatient providers, for the most part, with their EMR system, whether that be training it, modifying it to fit needs better, teaching any upgrades on the floor, supporting the application, or even becoming an analyst who works on the actual build or maintenance of the application. If you want to stay close to nursing, I would recommend the Master's of Science in Nursing. It is a little bit more narrow in that you are still getting another nursing degree, and I have seen for the most part that people who get a Master's in Science in Nursing continue in the hospital, or at least with the hospital system. But that being said, it doesn't mean that they don't get the more corporate lifestyle. They might have more of a 9-to-5 type of work schedule, but it is going to be more focused on nursing practice. So your classes will probably involve more thinking like a nurse. If you've been to nursing school, you know what I mean. The prioritization, the patient safety, patient care, those things more in the forefront. And then on the other side of that, there is the Master's of Science in Health Informatics, which is what I ultimately decided to go for. The reason I chose that one is because I wanted to broaden my perspective. I felt that I already have a bachelor's degree in nursing, so I've been to 4 years of nursing school, and I wanted to add on top of that more information about things outside of nursing. So in my specific program, I can only speak to that, but it includes things like leadership in healthcare, some basic coding, health system security, what else, like ethical dilemmas in informatics. So it is a lot more broad. It doesn't really have anything to do with nursing specifically, even though it has to do with health in general. So they go hand in hand, but it's a lot less specific, if that makes sense. If you watched my first video, you know, I started out as a support specialist, and that I went into knowing that it would be something that I would aspire to move up from and move out of. And recently, my hospital has decided to go through a transition from the current EMR system to a new one, system-wide, so it's a massive project. And I have been very blessed to have been moved onto the project team for that implementation. So I will still be focused on the ambulatory space like I talked about in my first video. I'm really excited about it. It has been an opportunity that I didn't see coming, but that's why sometimes it's good to just go ahead, get your foot in the door, try something new, and you never know what might come along. With that being said, I'll transition into another question that I get a lot, and that is, do you miss nursing at the bedside? And I would say that there are times when I think about the amount of time I put in school, the amount of time I spent in the hospital learning, being hands-on, taking care of patients, and how I felt like I was making a difference there. However, I still feel fulfilled in my position as an outpatient informaticist. I see how much that technology impacts patient care, and I'm able to be a part of that. So I don't feel really that I miss being a bedside nurse. I am much happier in the position that I am in now, mainly because of feeling like I have more work-life balance. Definitely recommend that if you are unhappy as a bedside nurse, that you explore other options without just completely giving up the field of nursing and the field of healthcare. So normally people will tell you, wait it out, it might get better, you never know, and that is definitely true, but I think there comes a time when you know deep down that something is not for you and that you don't feel that your quality of life is good, or you feel anxious every time that you have to go to work. Those types of things, you know yourself, and you may realize that you need to make a change. And so if you feel that way, look into other options like informatics. It's not the only one, it's just the one that I found. But I don't think that it makes you any less of a nurse. You still will have that nursing knowledge, and you'll still be able to use that to keep patients at the forefront of your mind when you're working with technology. Technology infiltrates every aspect of patient care, and it really does matter. So if you feel like you need to change from the bedside, but you still want to help patients and help the general population health, those types of things, then informatics is definitely a good option. So the last thing that I want to cover in this video is what are some actual practical steps that you can take to go from working at the bedside as a nurse to working in informatics. And so obviously everyone's situation is different, so I can't sit here and tell you these are the exact things you need to do, but I can give you some advice on the types of things that can help you get your foot in the door. The first thing I would say is be open to an entry-level position. Like I said, when I started my move to informatics, I couldn't be too picky. Like, beggars can't be choosers sometimes. Obviously you want to get a good job, and you want to be respected and to have your experience recognized, but if you are starting something totally new, you may be in a position that's not quite as high up as you would like to be, but those really give you the opportunity to learn a lot. So it may be worth it to you to take an entry-level job for the purpose of getting started. And I think if you work hard and you do your best, people will recognize that, and you will quickly be eligible for other roles and responsibilities within your organization. Another thing is, if you work in a hospital, then you definitely have an informatics department. I don't think there's many hospitals that are still on paper charts. If yours is, then you might even have a cooler opportunity to bring the system onto an EMR. But I would just say find out who the people are in the informatics department. You can even look up on your like hospital's intranet or their job roles page, org chart, whatever it is that you have. Find out who works in informatics and then just send them an email or give them a call or ask someone to introduce you, and ask them about how they got into informatics, what is their day-to-day job, any advice that they have for you. And I think you'd be surprised how much people are willing to talk about their job and also help you along the way if you show genuine interest. Another thing you can do is participate in a super user program. Usually that just means that you attend additional trainings for your EMR system and then are that assistance for people on your floor or on your unit. And that is really a good way to get talking with informatics people and learn more about the system. I'd say that's like a slower approach. If you're not sure that you want to get into informatics, I would definitely recommend becoming a super user or even proctoring or teaching EMR training so that you can see kind of what it's like before you fully commit into a master's degree program or changing your job entirely. But if you just want out and you really need a change, then go and talk to people, send people emails, call people, and ask what positions are available. The third thing I would say is you can go ahead and start a school program and then use that to find a job. I know a lot of the people in my classes, we talk to each other about what each other does for work, obviously, and I think those people could be really good connections. If you get into a graduate program and you find a friend and you ask them, well, what do you do for work? And you like what they're doing, they might be able to hook you up. A graduate school might also have community partners that they work with to fill positions through their institution. So you might have luck talking to an advisor or a professor at your graduate school about what kind of opportunities are available. I think the biggest overarching theme to all of this advice is just don't be afraid to ask people questions. Connections are really what makes the corporate world go round. So if you can get in front of someone, talk to someone, and ask for help, a lot of times you will end up finding out what you need and being able to make those relationships that help you move your career forward. So yeah, if I had to say one thing to all of you who are considering this, it's go for it. Start asking questions, ask for a job, apply for the job. You might be uncomfortable at first. You might have to learn a lot of new things that you aren't used to, but it will definitely be worth it if you get into a job where you feel fulfilled and appreciated and where you have the work-life balance that you want. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it, and leave any questions that you have below in the comments, or if you have any advice for people based on the things that we've talked about, I would love for you to share that as well. And as always, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram or via email, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.